All right, and showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on the latest episode of the ChannelPro 5-Minute Roundup. A look at news, trends, and tips for the SMB channel in 5 minutes or thereabouts. My name is Rich Freeman. I'm executive editor of the ChannelPro Network. With me, as always, is my co-host, Eric Simpson, who is CIO and Senior Vice President of SPC International, a training and business improvement organization for MSPs and other IT providers. Eric, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well, Rich. How about you?
Doing pretty well. It is. I'm home in Seattle. It is hot here. It is Seattle hot, which is not Southern California hot. But on the other hand, nobody has air conditioning here, so it's hot enough.
Yeah, that's no fun. We've been going through a little bit of a heat wave, and in my recent travels, I've broken 105 at a couple of spots this last month already. So let's see what the rest of the summer brings.
Yeah. I was in Dallas last week. It hit 110 at one point, just blast furnace hot. So I know what that's like.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about some hot news. How about that? The top story this week is from WatchGuard. You know them, you love them, you can't live without them for firewalls, their Firebox line. But this week they got into software. Now, they have had software products before, but always products that are associated with their security hardware. This week, for the first time, they introduced their first 100% software-based standalone product. It is a multi-factor authentication product called AuthPoint. Very much targeted at SMBs, has some interesting functionality in terms of the different options for authenticating yourself. The significance of the story from my perspective, though, is that it's really the first step in a bit of a strategic pivot for WatchGuard. They're going to have more software-based products coming along soon. This is the first, or I guess one of the first products that's going to be using their new WatchGuard Cloud management interface. So a number of different WatchGuard products in the past have each had their own administration portal. WatchGuard Cloud is, over time, going to replace all of those and be sort of the single pane of glass for administering everything that WatchGuard makes. And it's going to be the hub that connects not only hardware products, but software products going forward. So sort of interesting news from a familiar name in security.
Yeah, I think that shows some strategic vision on the part of WatchGuard. I mean, to be seen primarily as a security vendor with with devices that need to be installed, managed, maintained, updated, and replaced over time. To see them diversify into software, which I would say you make your investment in R&D up front, but then after the fact, maintenance should be much more cost effective for them and support. And it'll probably help them reach a much broader audience that they can then attempt to upsell and cross-sell to all their other products and services. So I like it. I like the idea. And it reminds me, this product that they're releasing reminds me of, like, in the Apple iOS environment, right? You can enable authentication on your iCloud account so that anytime someone tries to log in, it sends you an alert and says, hey, someone from, and it even geo positions where that person is. Is this okay? As soon as you hit okay, then it sends you the authentication code for you then to log in. So I'm wondering what the similarities and what the slight differences would be. But I think, if this is a solution that allows us to do that with all of our logins across all of our platforms, man, that would be a handy tool to have.
And what's interesting about this too, and we've spoken on this video, this series before about SonicWall, another company best known for firewalls, and they are getting into cloud-based security software-only kinds of products as well. And the reasoning there, I think, is the same as at WatchGuard, which is basically firewalls were a absolutely critical strategic place to be in the pre-cloud era, essentially, in the era when there was a very clearly defined perimeter firewall around a business, and everybody was going to need a firewall to defend the perimeter. Then being the perimeter guy made a lot of sense. And it's not as if the perimeter has disappeared entirely, but it's a very, very different story in the age of cloud and mobility when you've got people all over the place and they're outside the firewall all the time, and your customers need a complete security kind of solution. Firewalls alone aren't going to do it, and you really kind of need to get into some of these software products.
Right, and I think moving some of the AI into the cloud when these products do power these on-premise devices is really smart too, because as you know, trying to manage and pull data from all these disparate devices, if they're checking in, to the cloud and getting, updates and things like that, or if, there's a threat and, they need to call up and see what that threat signature is and devise a response to it. I think moving that kind of processing and AI up into the cloud layer also helps maintain the viability of these devices over a longer period of time on premise too. So I think you'll probably see some of this stuff tied back into these on-prem devices as well as being, independent of them. And I suspect as WatchGuard gets more experience with this initial software deliverable, they'll explore other software initiatives in the future.
They definitely will. And in fact, they did, to your earlier point as well, they did say the system runs with any firewall. You don't have to use WatchGuard firewalls to use their authentication product. But down the road, there will be some integration between AuthPoint and their firewalls that will make it advantageous, attractive to be a Firebox customer as well as an AuthPoint customer, and we'll see how that comes together. But let's move on to your tip of the week here, which has to do with some subtleties, I believe, some nuances in the sales funnel.
Yes. So today's tip of the week is all about the importance of properly designing a sales pipeline strategy. Right. So, as we grow our sales teams in an effective way to manage opportunities and to see where each opportunity lies in the life cycle of the sales process is to establish a pipeline forecast. And what we do there simply is we collect a bunch of data about each opportunity, including what the first appointment date was, what the some notes about the opportunity, who the client is, maybe what they're looking for, what the value of the sale is. And then we weight each stage. We set stages in the pipeline so that we can track the movement of each opportunity through the sales funnel. And we start with a wide funnel at the top. A lot of our leads are coming in at the top and they're at the top. And then they go into a stage where it says we've set an appointment, and then maybe we've qualified them. Maybe we've created we've done a demo or presentation. We provided them a quote. We're now in negotiation phase, and either we close it or we lose that opportunity. And I like to structure these sales funnels for our partners so that each one of these stages in that funnel, as we're moving opportunities through the funnel, is weighted. So if you set an appointment for an opportunity, you really don't know much about it other than what you've done prospecting online and preparing for that appointment, that may be worth 10 points. When you've qualified that client, you've had that first appointment, they're qualified now, and you're ready to prepare a proposal, we might give them 30 points. And these aren't cumulative points that add up to 100. It just shows us where we are in terms of probability of close. The further we get through the sales funnel, the higher probability we're going to close that opportunity. Or if we lose that opportunity, we can go back and find out why we lost it. Did we not qualify properly? Some other issues like that. So we do a demo presentation, gets 40 points. We then deliver a quote or proposal, Rich, and then now we're at 50 points. So it's 50-50 now. Now we negotiate with the client on moving forward with that opportunity. That's 70 points. And then if we win, it's 100 points. If we lose, it's 0 points. But now we have a spreadsheet that we list all of our opportunities by. We have a little funnel, and each one of these opportunities gives us the value of that opportunity as well as what percentage of probability of close it's in. And this also gives us the ability to analyze why things get stuck in the funnel. Like if our normal sales cycle is 45 days for a managed service agreement, let's say, why has this been in here for 90 days? What's the problem? Why is it stuck in qualifying? Why is it stuck in proposal or presentation or negotiation? What's happening? And it allows us to take action to try to accelerate sales velocity and push things through the funnel and close those opportunities. So it's a visual tool that helps us manage opportunities and not let things fall through the cracks through the sales process.
I really like it. I'm a spreadsheet guy. I like quantifying just in general. So this sort of appeals to me instinctively. I imagine this becomes, or certainly could contribute to, a performance metric that you could keep your eye on, that you want to have X number of points in the pipeline at any given time. You could put that up on some sort of dashboard almost and see how many points do you have at each stage of the funnel, how many do you have cumulatively, and set targets for that and see how you're trending, et cetera.
You're an evil genius, Rich. Yes. I mean, the intent here is to create a framework where we can manage behavior and performance and incent that performance and understand, if we're not setting as many appointments, why is that? We're not doing enough lead generation. We're not doing enough prospecting, right? I mean, and we can tell really easily when our funnel is getting tapped out, right? So we want to have 2, 3, 4 times the number of active opportunities in the funnel at any one time to gauge, can we close 30% of those on a month-over-month basis? So we're always filling that funnel and watching what's happening. And of course, the ultimate incentive is, not comp and commission and bonus for a sales professional. It's really keeping their job. So this is where we start establishing quotas, and we tie back activities to close sales numbers and things like that. But I've got a sense that we'll be digging deep into those topics in future 5-minute roundups.
Fantastic. We will look forward to that. We've got time for just one more story this week. And if you and our audience are a successful entrepreneur, you might want to go see your doctor, because it turns out, according to some researchers, there is a close association between entrepreneurial success and a brain-invading parasite. Can't make this stuff up, folks. There is as we all know, an association between success in business and a tolerance for risk, and something called Toxoplasma gondii, a single-celled parasite spread by cats, can cause personality changes that appear to increase a person's willingness to take risks. A study of almost 1,300 U.S. students showed that those exposed to the parasite were 1.7 times more likely to be majoring in business. I love that. So if you are a successful entrepreneur and you've got cats in the house, there's a chance that some of your success can be ascribed to a parasite in your brain.
Yeah, I think, reading that story, Rich, I think there's a strong argument for rebooting the David Bowie film in the late 70s, Cat People, but this time they become really aggressive entrepreneurs and out to take over the world.
Cat CEOs. Yes. Yeah, this would make sense. I like it. Well, that is our show for the week. Thank you very much for joining us. If you like it, you want to see some more of them, see some of the ones that we've done in the past, I encourage you to subscribe to the ChannelPro Network channel on YouTube. I also encourage you to visit ChannelProNetwork.com. On a daily basis, we've got news coverage for you, business success and business growth tips all the time. If you want to learn more about Erick and SPC International and the great stuff that they do with MSPs and other IT providers, you want to go to consulting.spc-intl.com. That's consulting.spc-intl.com. Erick and I will be back with you in a week for another episode of the Channel Pro 5-Minute Roundup. Until then, enjoy the rest of your week. Erick and I are enjoying the rest of your week already.